Welcome back to Crypto Simulation Theory. I'm the Gaussian Snake. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin, the return of Uptober. Please remember to join my Telegram group if you want the latest news. Link is in the video description. Like and subscribe to this channel if you want more content like this. So let's go ahead and get started and have a look at what's going on with the King of Crypto. We have a cup and handle on the weekly formation. Um, Very large cup dating back multiple years and a pretty long handle. We've been in a crab market for the past half year or so, and it looks like we may be ready to break out of that. You can see this upper trend line, which has been basically targeted with macro lower highs. And you might think that we're in for another one of these, and you could be right, but I think we're about to blast off very, very soon. And I have reasons for thinking that I'm going to share with you today. I'm extremely bullish on quarter 4 of this year. I've been bullish as far back as the summer, just talking about what I've thought about quarter 4 and what it was going to look like. The only thing I pivoted on is that I thought we might take one more trip down to the 42 to 51K range. And I pivoted on that several weeks ago. And I made a declaration um, a little while ago that I believe that 49K was the macro low for this leg of the cycle. And I will stand by that and continue to stand by that in the coming weeks, barring any unforeseen black swan event or something like that, which, well, I'd still stand by my I'd still stand by my prediction, just say I was wrong. But let's take a look a little bit more at some indicators and see what's going on with Bitcoin going, blasting off into up to. Okay, what you're looking at here is a weekly alligator indicator. Love this indicator. Consists of some moving averages that have corresponded well to breakouts and sideways movement and also downtrends. Just a very clean indicator. You can see back during the 2021 bull run, we had the alligator's lips, which are green. I know green lips. I mean, does make sense on an alligator. The mouth is red and the jaw is blue. Okay, and so when you have the lips above the mouth above the jaw, that is considered a bull trend, especially when these are extended. The alligator is awake. The alligator is eating, eating profits. And then when the jaws start to go down, like over here, and you have an upside down alligator, that is a bear market. When they're going sideways, the alligator is said to be sleeping, and we have probably spend a fair amount of time doing that. And that's kind of what seems to have been happening here is that the alligator was sleeping, but you'll notice that we got a nice bottoming out of um, the alligator's. I keep getting these mixed up. The mouth, right? We got it bottomed out, and then it looks like the alligator is starting to wake up on the weekly, suggesting that another uptrend, potentially similar to this, maybe not as dramatic, but similar to this, could be materializing as we speak. And I think that very likely is the case. Let's go ahead and turn on some moving averages and see what's going on. You may remember I told you that every single time Bitcoin has had a death cross of the 50 week, which is in blue, and the 100 week, which is in white, HMA, it has had a pump afterwards. This happened in the summer of 2021, where we had a death cross. We rode the 200 week a few times, tested it, and then we pumped above the 100 week. That is generally where you pump to. In the past, you can watch many of my other videos to see. I've talked about this multiple times. So let's go ahead and remove this downtrend line. And you can see that we have held the 200 week as support. And in fact, didn't even make it all the way down there on this last drop to about 58, 59K, which I think was the dump before the pump. I'm pretty sure about that. And we are now above the 50 week finally for the first time in a while. This is why I'm getting really bullish. And our next destination is the 100 week. And we've always pumped after a death cross. We have not always pumped to the 100 week, but we usually have. And it seems like we're about to do that again. And I actually think we're going to get above the 100 week for only the third time in Bitcoin's history. Of course, the three most recent times that's happened in a more dramatic way each time. It happened in 2020. It happened in 2021, and I think it's about to happen again. And I believe we are about to see Bitcoin go over $100,000. And this is what's making me also bullish, is just seeing this formation and how good it looks with regard to these moving averages. If we go to some shorter time frame moving averages, okay, let's look at 10 and the 40, for instance, and maybe even pull in the 20, you can see that these are all starting to stack. Okay, they're starting to stack. So we're above the 10-week at the moment. We are above the 20-week, which is just the 10 and the 20 have golden crossed with the 40. And with HMAs, it's beautiful because you'll see all these golden crosses happen, just like you'll see death crosses happen. Um, on the way towards building a sustained uptrend. And when they're all running parallel, you're well into the uptrend. And I think that's what's starting to take place here for the first time, really, in a while. September, late September is when this process started. And then we had another golden cross in early October. And so what we're looking for now is to see, are we going to get even more golden crosses? So we have the 50. We already had the golden cross with the 10 and the 50. We're going to probably wait on the 20 and the 50, and then the 40 and the 50. You just want to see all these turn up, and there's the 100. That's going to take a little bit of time. And the 200 is already positioned down well below, so we don't have to worry about that. So moving averages look really, really good for Bitcoin, and I'm extremely bullish with these things. Remember the linear regression channel I spoke of? Well, it looks like we had that bounce. Here's the bounce. We went straight down to the bottom of the channel on September 2nd, and we look like we might come back and retest it, but I don't think we're going to. I think we're off to the races now. As to the pace at which we go up, who knows, right? We don't know if we're going to just go straight up, straddle this median line for a little bit. But looking at the top of the channel, I guess it just depends on when we get to it. Like if we were to get to it by the end of the year, let's say, let me put on the crosshairs so we can be a little bit more precise, and let me draw this down a little bit more so I can get a better view. But it's like, okay, so when might we hit the top of this channel? Assuming this channel is preserved, right? This channel doesn't have to be preserved. It is a very strong channel right now. So let's say we topped in like mid-November, late November, we'd be looking at around 114K, which would be totally reasonable place to roll over. If we go into December, we're looking at 125, maybe 130K. Again, totally reasonable place to roll over again. And then that would not necessarily mark the top of the market. Okay. Um, I anticipate on a mania run we could actually break this channel. So if we're hitting like let's say 180K or something, March of 2025, which I don't know if that's going to happen, but just as an example, that's like 3 standard deviations away from the mean. That's looking like a cycle top. So I'm not really going to start talking about topping until this uptrend is like further confirmed. But to me, this is we have another thing I noticed. I noticed this last week, and I posted about it on my Telegram channel. Let me get the drawing tool out so I can, show you what I'm talking about. But I noticed that we had the formation of potentially an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So here's the head, here's the shoulder, and you can see that there's a third shoulder that's been forming. I put a question mark on this, but it looks to me like we're getting that shoulder. So and breaking through the neckline. So the neckline being right here. So very bullish. You got head and shoulders within a cup and handle formation. How much more bullish can you possibly get? If you look at my past video, Bitcoin the Red Ribbon, just go through my collection, you'll find it. I talked about the formation of this red Gauss ribbon and how it was likely that, because when you get a red ribbon and you're not heading into a major bear market, which we had no evidence of that here, usually you might dump into it or something like that, but you're going to pump pretty hard out of it. A red ribbon is actually a bullish sign. And it looks like the ribbon may be starting to close in pretty soon, and we might get the formation of one of these beautifully long green ribbons, which corresponds to bull market movement, especially the early and middle stage of that ribbon. So that's another bullish sign. So many bullish signs, and I haven't even looked under the hood. If you guys have been following me for any length of time, you'll know one of my favorite indicators is the RCMO, reverse Chandier momentum oscillator. And this one allowed me to pretty much call the top in this Q1 movement by saying, wow, we don't get up to these price levels very often. Very few times. I have videos on that. Go check them out if you want. I'm not into bragging about being right or anything like that because I've been wrong just as many times, I'm sure, as I've been right. But it's more just to go back and see how reliable these indicators are. They are very reliable. Now, we did put in a lower low on the reverse Chandier, which is a confusing situation going forward. It really makes me wonder how high we can actually go. We might actually be able to go a lot higher because we came down to such a low level. We did this in 2020, okay, where we came down fairly low, but we didn't put in a macro lower low. Sorry, this is 2021. Yeah, but even then we didn't put in a macro lower low, right? It was a higher low all the way. So this is I think probably the first time this has happened in a bull market with Bitcoin where we actually put in a lower low on the reverse Chandier. And this formation where you have this, it's not quite a head and shoulders, okay? I want to call everything a head and shoulders. That's not what it is, but you can see that we are starting to go back up on the reverse Chanday, and we have an inflection on the what's this thing called, the signal line. So the signal line went red in June, and now it's inflecting. I think we're going to get above this signal line and flip it green this quarter. I think that's going to happen. And the fact that we have this upward movement is already very positive. So I think we're going to be heading up. Now, what I don't know is if we're going to make it back up to above the 80 level this cycle. Seeing how low we went, I think there's actually a chance that it happens. I don't think we'll get this high. This has to do with return on investment or ROI, so I don't think we're going to have a double top up here, but I do think we could see some movement to maybe the 80 to 90 level in 2025. And I don't know if it'll happen in early 2025. I don't know if it'll happen in late 2025. I can't project that far out, but this does look bullish. It looks like we have pretty much taken care of our downtrend. We got that bullish divergence, and that's what I like to see. Now I'm confident we can break this red signal line into a green signal line sometime this quarter. Bitcoin's current risk is at 42.15. We've spent the majority of the year kind of in that zone of like 35-ish to 45. And you can see right now how high we could go, right? Like I mean, I think something, again, depending on when we do it, that will tell you how risky it is. But I think, we could easily see 130K materialize by quarter one. Now, if that's a cycle top or not, I don't know. That's going to be very tricky, and we're going to have to look at a lot of indicators. If we start to head above 80 risk right now is at 126K. That is a fairly high risk level. You're talking about up here, 100 risk, or sorry, 90 risk and 100 risk is superheated. That's 150 to 175K. These numbers will go up with time. So actually, the more time you consolidate, the higher you can go. I don't think Bitcoin is going to exceed the ROI move that it had from cycle bottom to its March top, which was like a little over a 4x. So like I think it's likely Bitcoin could see around a 3x from here, which is why I was talking about on the RCMO not really getting a higher high, but a lower macro high, probably before rolling over. So we should be open-minded to the idea that something like somewhere between 150 to 180K could be the major cycle top, depending on how soon we hit it. Okay, if we hit it really soon, I think it'll trigger a lot of our topping indicators. If it takes a while to get there and we don't get there until sometime next year, especially later on in the year, then that might not be the cycle top. So we want to also keep an eye on risk as we start to like turn around here and have a probable blast off as we head into the end of the month and into November. So I think November is probably a more likely place for a blast off because we still have the 100-week whole moving average to contend with, but things are looking good, right? They're heading in the right direction. Just want to do a final check-in on Bitcoin dominance. A lot of you are getting impatient about altcoins, and I don't think our time has come yet. I just don't. I think altcoin season, a major altcoin season, is likely to occur, possibly even two of them, as we head into at the earliest the end of the year, but more realistically 2025. I think 2025 will be an altcoin year. I don't think 2024 is going to be remembered that way. Bitcoin dominance right now has some, the alligator jaws are open. So, the alligator's awake. The mouth is above the lips, is above the jawline. I think Bitcoin dominance has a date with this trend line at 60%. I think Bitcoin dominance will likely top somewhere between 60 and 63%. It's hard for me to say exactly where it will top, but somewhere in this green zone. It's already in the green zone. I think the good news is that Bitcoin dominance is running out of steam, and this is on a 2-week time horizon. I don't think it has much gas left in the tank. I think it is almost done. And so what I'm going to say is that Bitcoin dominance should have its last stand this quarter, and then I think it's going to roll over. In fact, if you look at the reverse Chandy momentum oscillator, you can already see, I mean, this looks like an actual head and shoulders pattern forming. So I don't know how much uplift Bitcoin dominance can get. It is getting very close to topping out, like to get to the levels of where it has topped out traditionally in the past. Like you can see in 2023, Bitcoin dominance RCMO got quite high, but let's just put a horizontal trend line to where we are right now, and see kind of like where we have hit that in the past. Okay, so roughly speaking, our RCMO score is 38.34. And we did get to a high in this year in August of an RCMO of around 50. Let's just call it 52. Okay. We don't hit these levels very often for Bitcoin dominance. And usually once we do, Bitcoin dominance is getting ready to roll over. Okay. So I think you can safely say quarter four is Bitcoin dominance last stand. Bitcoin dominance could have already topped. It is possible. I don't think it has. I think it has further to go. And I think a reasonable stopping place is 60% or around there. I don't think it has to go to 63%. I'm skeptical it even has the gas to do that, to be honest with you. But all this is to say is that, like, why do I bring up Bitcoin dominance in a Bitcoin video, besides just to, gloat about Bitcoin, is because I feel like, altcoin season may be starting to kind of like, altcoin season, maybe the early stages of it may be beginning now while Bitcoin dominance is in a topping phase. Like, you may not want to wait, not financial advice, nothing in this video is, but you may not want to wait until Bitcoin has clearly topped to now roll over into altcoins, because it's hard to identify a top. Let me show you this is the altcoin season index, and it has been a Bitcoin year. Other than a brief altcoin season that didn't even last that long at the end of quarter three of 2024, sorry, at quarter four 2024 heading into quarter four of 2023 heading into quarter one of 2024. Sorry for all the stuttering. um, and then we've had this kind of accumulation phase, and that's what I've seen this as, is that this is a time to be considering your altcoin positions. Now, altcoin season looks bearish right now, and I think it will make its way back down into the depths. We are already in Bitcoin season once again, and I think this time it'll be Bitcoin season in an uptrend instead of a downtrend, and it will be seen as mostly a Bitcoin only rally for a little while. That is the time, in my opinion, not financial advice, but that is the time where, if I wasn't already in altcoins, which I am, I would be thinking of getting into them, because this probably is going to turn around and not look back for a while once we head into 2025. Can't tell you exactly when in 2025, but my guess is end of quarter four into quarter one of 2025 will probably mark the first major altcoin season starting. And I think there may be another one later in next year if the bull market continues, but that's a topic for another time. But yeah, look at how bullish that is. That's very bullish. So there you have it. I believe that October will live true to its name and be remembered as Uptober by the end of the month. I think November will be remembered as Moonvember, true to its name. So I think we have some bullish price momentum coming in pretty soon. It's just going to take a little while. Sorry, this appears to be a little bit out of focus, but yeah, making it worse. Um, I think it's going to be a little while before we see the really really massive move to the upside. Like, that may still take a few weeks to materialize, um, but I think it's coming, right? So it makes sense right now to be bullish on Bitcoin. It doesn't make any sense to be bearish on Bitcoin. There's always, it's always good to have a hedge, right? Have a little bit of cash on the side, but personally, I'm very cash light right now. I'm broke, and most of my money is in the market. So um, yeah, that's basically where I'm at right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you like the content. This is Crypto Simulation Theory. I'm the Gaussian Snake, and I'd love to have you join my Telegram group. We've got almost 300 people there and some other analysts who share their opinions, because our belief in crypto simulation theory are that there are no gurus. There's no market gurus, including myself. A team is stronger than an individual. So that's our philosophy, and it's free. So go ahead and join it. Link is in the video description below. I will see you again next time.